everybody. Welcome to another exciting edition of Super Desperation Radio. I am Gibby, and I'm here joined by my fellow jackasses.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Whoa, who are you calling jackass?
Whoa, jackass, hold on there. You saying you're not a jackass?
No, actually, I am completely a jackass.
I'm
more of a 10 ass. You know, I'm not quite a
Now,
jack.
do you mean tin? Like you have a tin ass, or are you saying
No, like
you're a
I'm
10,
not quite a
a
face
number
card.
10?
I'm not quite the face card, and I'm definitely not an ace. Maybe a 9 ass.
9 ass?
I thought it was gonna say like a 10-speed ass or something.
Oh.
Alright, so just so everybody knows, there is an issue currently going on with XSplit and Twitch. So we're not able to run XSplit, and we're having someone who doesn't really know how to run a stream. And that guy, Jesus, he's doing a bad job. Can't even get the video on here. So this is
But you didn't botch the intro.
No, I can't. I don't botch the intro. I'm not Botch Mania, okay? It's not me.
Hey, first of all, it's very easy to botch the extremely intricate intro that is normal SDR.
Well, when I do the normal SDR intro, we'll figure it out. I'll try it out. But we definitely had an exciting week this past week, especially the last 3 days. Holy shit!
Yeah, I had a great time. I
don't mean us having a great time. I mean these announcements, these tournaments, all this shit.
Oh, I guess those are cool too. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about how much beer I drank at PSX.
Well, Jesus, yeah. Crap.
Do you even actually know how many?
I kind of lost count after Friday.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's my point.
Because we found this amazing place called 4th Street Market that apparently has a bar inside the grocery store.
Ooh.
I don't see how people get any shopping done over there.
So that's actually really common in the Midwest now, and I was really surprised when I moved back.
Now you're just going to Whole Foods, obviously. They got the beers on tap.
Man, we don't even have a Whole Foods in this town.
That shit is fucking.
Got a half Foods, maybe.
We got quarter Foods.
Half a slice of government cheese.
You ever walk to a grocery store and just 80% of the inventory was corn?
Pretty much.
Oh man, but yeah, these announcements: Capcom Cup, PSX. Take it. What do you think, Gibby?
Oh boy. So let's see. Where do we start? Okay, hold on. I know where to start. Anthony.
Yes.
When we were outside waiting in line to get our badges, this thing just showed up on like the keynote, and it's this old Neo Geo game that you love.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called again?
Windjammers.
Oh shit! Yeah. Windjammers, man. Chris, tell everybody who lost their shit in line.
Shit, who was that again? Shit, who are we standing in line with? I forget.
It was me, you, and people you didn't know.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm drawing a blank here. I was kind of blacked out for like 15 minutes, like at least in that line, man.
Well,
in that line,
Chris screwed up. The guy who lost his shit was me. Okay, everyone else was just dead.
See, that's not even fair, because like you losing your shit is like you crack a grin for no reason, and we might even not even see it.
No, but what had happened was in a hushed voice, Gibby would have said, "Oh shit, look," and then kind of lightly chuckled to himself with a big smile, like a fucking when Revolver Ocelot pokes Big Boss in the eye on the plane or on the helicopter at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3 kind of smile, and that's what you would have got from an
Wow.
And that could have meant. I remember seeing that, but I was like, "Oh, that shit could mean anything, man. He might have just farted or something, you know?"
Yeah. No. So I legit just like yell, "Yeah, Windjammers! Woo! Raider Nation!" That's how I did it.
That's
great.
actually what happened. Yeah, he yelled that, and I think I blocked that part out because
Yeah.
there was a lot of Raider Nation, shaming of 49er going on this weekend, and I'm just not going to discuss that because the lawsuit is pending.
Yeah, we won't get into that. Don't worry. We've actually got a show full of content. We don't need to go into much like it. But I was excited, and then I remembered that I found out it was .mu, and then I'm kind of iffy on it now. I did play 2 games of it at the show, and it felt right, but I only played 2 games. I can't judge how. I'm not good enough in Windjammers to know if it's off just with those 2 games. So, hopefully.
So I would say, by the way, for the people who are listening, what has been the problem with .mu's ports of
laggy.
Neo Geo games in the past?
Inaccurate.
Yeah, every .mu game that has been released, or every Neo Geo .mu game has been ported over to PC, has had a lot of lag issues, inaccurate ports, frame rate issues, just sound. Everything was wrong with something, and a lot of them don't have any online play. They said that this will. They told me it'll have online play, but I didn't see anywhere it's saying it has online play. Maybe I missed something because I was having too much fun at a booth right by the Windjammers booth. But we'll see. Is it out now? I forgot.
I don't remember. I remember it saying I think it was coming out soon. I think.
Okay.
It might be out.
Yeah,
I haven't touched my PS4 because it's in my brother's room.
Okay, that's probably for the best. I'll look it up right now. You guys talk.
Okay, well, in addition to that, while waiting in line, they actually treated you to the keynote pizzas that were occurring during the first day of PSX, and so we got to see a lot of the other announcements and whatnot. And
did you say pieces or pizzas?
I heard pizzas.
I heard pizzas.
Pizza keynotes. I don't know. I'm still kind of delirious.
The pizza keynote was delicious.
I did not get a slice though, but that looked good.
New tech, mango on pizza.
I think my favorite moment in line had to be when Mark of the Wolves, like just the logo flashes on the screen, and like most of the crowd's just like, you know, whatever, and then you just hear somebody go, "Woo!" Right? And I was like, okay.
That was Gibby again. It's crazy.
He like threw his voice into the arena, like it just came out that way. And so later on, they're having like the little the post like keynote speak breakdown, and there's this one guy who's like listing off the games that he saw. And he's like, "Which one are you most excited for?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to that Mark of the Wolves. You know, that gets the people going."
No. That gets the people going. Nobody
Get it
cheers.
right. He didn't say Mark of the Wolves. He said Garou.
Garou, Mark of the Wolves.
Yeah.
Garou, Mark of the Wolves. He literally said Garou, Mark of the Wolves. That gets the people going, verbatim. Yeah. And like, I have a video of myself like recording this, and like the first thing I said was like, "No, it doesn't." I don't know why I was hating, but that was a funny.
Because you were probably shit wasted.
Yeah.
Nothing revs my Hemi dual overhead cam V8 engine like Garou, Mark of the Wolves.
Like that was just like, I know those guys were trying, so I blessed their hearts. But holy shit, when he said Mark of the Wolves, I was like, oh man, I can't let him get away with that.
Garou.
And then we of course got inside and made a beeline for the SNK booth where we saw KOF 14, and it looks good. A lot of characters look cool. They got some new colors in there. They all look great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed, but I don't want to get too much into that right now because we're discussing like the gist of everything.
Yeah.
What else did I like from there? Then of course we also had to we saw CPT finals on Saturday, and you know that was cool. We'll talk about that later. And then of course the inevitable announcement that occurred, which is like probably the biggest announcement in the history of announcements about announcements and trailers. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's not quite 4, but it is a game. It is a versus game that you will be able to play, ?
You're right. It's a versus game. It's not a cross game.
Yeah.
It's not a cross
game that you will be able to play, and guess what? It's got X. It doesn't have Mega Man.
It does have cross in it then.
Yeah, you're right. It does have cross in it. Shit, Mega Man cross. No. But it's got X. It doesn't have Mega Man. It doesn't have, well...
Wait, if it has X, and it's X versus Mega Man X over? Mega Man's over?
Oh, shit.
What? Man, you're reaching really hard right now.
But yeah,
this joke is not working.
So they opened up So day one, they opened up the trailer with, what was it? It was Captain Marvel, Iron Man, and Rue, and Mega Man X. X needs to be specified because everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's Mega Man. That's nice." I'm like, nah, he's X. All right.
Yeah.
He transforms into.
He puts the man in Mega Man.
He puts on the armor. And mind you, the thing I like, it looks like it's Mega Man X1 X.
Yeah, it's X1 X armor definitely.
Except the only problem is that when he turns on the armor, the Charge Buster is his Mega Man X4 Buster shot.
Oh,
well, you know,
it's not the double helix of Purple Doom
I mean, that's
Yeah,
probably
with the
super
shield
fun,
behind
right?
him.
That's so fucking sick. It's like the best Buster.
It is.
like-
It looks.
it's probably
It
a
looks
super-
so over the top, but I
Mhm.
kind of figured we weren't gonna get that.
No, he just does the typical I pull my arm back cheap Mega Man X4 animation.
Yeah.
Sorry, they can give him like the X8 like super like blaster where it's like a Kamehameha, but nobody wants to deal with that.
Does that mean he'll have Shinku Hadouken?
Maybe.
That would be sick as hell.
Like, think about it. What if they gave him what if they gave him just a complete tool set of Mega Man X, like weapons,
Well,
just for Mega Man X?
So if we take Namco Cross Capcom into consideration, he has like all his moves from like X1 through 8, but he only uses like some from X1, some from X3,
Mhm.
X4.
I'm
but then
talking
he
about just
also-
X, just one.
Yeah, but I mean that'd be cool too. But he definitely, when he does a super move, he does do a Shinku Hadouken and shoots it out of his hands like a laser beam.
Okay.
Like- So
Some people were saying they wanted him to have the beam saber.
Oh yeah, give him the Z Saber. That way,
Yeah.
you know, in the event that Zero isn't in it, he lives on through the Zero virus.
his
Yeah,
alternate
yeah,
costume,
Lightning loops to X.
X's
Hold on,
alternate
hold on.
costume will be Zero, right?
Controversial opinion.
What?
Fuck Zero. Anyway, moving
No,
on.
that's fine. But
I mean, yeah.
my thing with this, I think it is very smart of them to open the debut trailer to have Mega Man X in it, because who is the most demanded character that Capcom like when fucking Marvel 3 was announced, everyone's like, oh, Mega Man X better be in it. Mega Man X better be in it. How many fake images did we see of alternate Zero? Or that shit was fucking insane.
Yeah. I mean, he was in it as an extra costume.
Yeah,
It's true. Was.
That doesn't count.
So maybe now Zero, so
It really
maybe now
doesn't.
Zero's the alternate costume.
Yeah, that still won't mean shit either.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But and so that's what they gave us at first, and then Sunday, during the rebroadcast of Capcom Cup, they showed two additional characters, Morgan and Captain America,
Yeah.
and you can see some gameplay elements with Captain America, and like it's pretty cool. Like I like I like bits of what I saw. I don't understand Marvel very well, but I like everything I'm seeing so far. And it's what does it got, Anthony? What's in this game?
I don't know.
Gems.
What are you talking?
Jackass.
It's not gems. They're
Stones.
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 It's
Yeah,
a stone, Luigi. You didn't make it.
Alright. Yeah. So it's got the Infinity Stones, and they each seem to do something different, much like they did in Marvel Superheroes, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
but-
believe they're drawing from. Yes.
And in Marvel Superheroes, they were pretty busted. But this is a different day and age, and we got some pretty good people working at Capcom.
We got more busted things in other games, so fuck it, just let them run.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
you wanna
agree
play-
with that.
You want to play Slash or Bust X?
Oh,
Bust
Or maybe it'll
ass.
be like POW or Speed, and then
Or maybe it'll be
EX
like
mode.
Arcanas.
Woo! Oh no! I'm gonna
So,
be playing Metal Hagar.
well, one of them will just give you Giga Armor X.
Hmm.
Oh, that'd be
Giga
pretty sick.
Attack. Yeah.
With like
Or maybe
the
it'll just,
charge.
maybe it'll just be like Melty, where the freaking different variations in that.
Well, I wonder if characters have a specific stone, or do you pick one? And does
Well,
it-
see, that's the thing is, so the thing that came out that was, I guess it was in Game Informer or something like that, said that people are supposed to think of it more like grooves in CVS2, but I'm at a loss for how that's going to work. Although the game is like basically in pre-alpha, so
Man, that would be crazy if it was like grooves. Because then, like, think about what grooves did. They give you different system mechanics, right? So it's
Yep.
like, oh, you can run in this one. So be like, this one can't super jump. Oh wow, that's kind of fucking shitty. Like, like if you took away mechanics from a versus game, what would you get? Unless we add Mega Crash, How about add Mega Crash?
damn, that's going to be one of them. You get a burst.
Stuff like super
Baroque.
Oh my god.
My guess would be that they'll probably just add little stuff like air
Pandora
dashing
mode.
for certain character, for like maybe time one has like air dashing because it's like speed or something.
Nah, it seems like when Carol Danvers activated, she was like teleporting and shit. She was, I don't know.
I don't know if that was like specific to her or not though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like we literally don't know shit about it, but it is
Exactly.
kind of cool to think about it. 'cause-
Speculation is going to go wild right now, but it just seemed like,
And when you're talking about speculation, one of the things, let me see if I can I can work some magic here. One of the things being speculated is that Sigma is in the game due to an image that I believe was in the trailer or that Sony released. I'm not too sure.
It was in the trailer at the very end. It was very like,
Yeah.
Okay,
like
let me get this
clip.
image up so folks at home can see it.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, are we gonna have other stones? Can you get more than one? Can you steal theirs like in the old game? Is
Ooh.
Thanos gonna be in the game? I would
Should have, like,
assume
all
he
kinds
is.
See, I would assume if they're doing the Infinity War and they want to do the new Marvel MCU, I assume Thanos is in this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, again, we have no idea. We don't know how big of a cast they're working with, which I think is another huge thing. Because since it's 2v2, you're going to assume smaller cast overall, I would think. But you never know.
It's bigger than that. But yeah, so this is the Sigma image on right now. And I've heard different theories. Some people are saying it's Ultron fused with Sigma.
That's what I was guessing.
And
No, they're stupid. That's what's it called? From Daima Kaimura.
What?
Oh man.
What's his
What
fucking
the fuck
name?
you just said to me.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Super
Yeah,
Ghouls
I
and Ghosts.
forgot his name.
Oh, the boss. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Sudorado or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, Astaroth.
Astaroth. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it definitely he's sitting in a chair. I can definitely.
He looks like
look
Spawn. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. This is
Sigma
actually
likes
Spawn.
sitting in chairs and
Oh,
stuff.
Spawn.
It's actually Spawn.
Yeah.
Marvel actually bought the rights to Spawn.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I personally didn't see this in the trailer. I didn't
Maybe
see it
it's a
until
Disney
People
character.
pointed out to me. Oh, so it's Goofy mixed with Launchpad.
Yeah, possibly. Man.
Damn.
That'd be too overpowered.
Nah, man, it's fucking Gizmo Duck. What are you talking about?
Fuck.
Damn.
God, it really. So I'm assuming hell no, but they could maybe put some Disney characters in there if they really wanted to.
I can see that. Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying this is my first. Like I didn't see him in the trailer, but it'd be sick if it was some kind of fusion because Onslaught was dope as shit to me.
I mean, think
I
about
see.
it this way. They made sure to let you know that X was one of the characters in the first trailer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who is X's main villain? It's Sigma. If it's not Sigma, I'm going to be disappointed.
I mean,
Just putting it out
X's,
there.
Well, it's always
technically,
Sigma, yeah.
X's main villain is Wily. All right. You
Well, why'd they show?
Well,
Why'd they show
dead,
Captain
though.
Marvel in the first trailer?
Why they done been dead?
But he lives on through Zero.
So it's Zero now.
I don't know.
It's Sigma.
His
Something different.
He has 8 different lightning loops.
There you
Oh,
go.
shit.
8-way lightning loops. Good shit.
Oh, actually, that'd be great if you had Elsa instead of Iceman.
Oh,
Actually,
son
it could
No
be.
X-Men.
Actually, there is an important. Somebody did say Vile. Vile is probably a closer.
I would like to see Vile in this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think you guys.
I
remember
wouldn't.
Baba, please.
Look, Baba. We're not gonna go with that.
Baby needs his Baba.
Oh,
I
God.
I think it's funny though how everyone's like, I want Nero in the game. Put in Nero. I want Nero. It's like, yeah, because people want to play against Virgil Spencer. That's what people want in this day and age.
Hey, you know what I never want to see again? Devil May Cry characters. Just get rid of all of them.
Oh, you're gonna get them. You're gonna
When-
get like the DMC characters.
I know.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
What was the last Devil May Cry game? I know it was DMC, but when did it come out?
Like a year ago?
2011, 2012.
Was it 2011? No way.
Maybe
I want to
not.
say it's at least 3 years ago.
Yeah. My guess is 2013, 2014. No later than that.
Devil May Cry came out. Oh yeah, 2013.
I just googled
2015?
DMC and I got
Yeah.
Daryl McDaniels.
Wow.
Well, technically, the latest version is 4 special edition something combo city. I don't know.
Well, this is the one thing I want from this. I want as few Street Fighter characters as possible.
Definitely.
You know what? You know what I actually want is because there's never been a great representation, and it's probably still won't. Is that we never really get a lot of villains in these games.
Yeah.
Everybody's always like a protagonist or something.
Well, I mean, that's because Marvel 2 was a new age of heroes. Duh. It didn't say new age of villains.
No, this is infinite, so it should have an infinite cast.
Well, now actually, you raised an important point there, and this is something that I was theorizing with a couple of friends while I was out there. Where it's like, if the cast listing somebody threw out the number 30, right? They start out with that. They call it infinite. It's possible that, since this could be, and this could be like the next big frontier for their DLC effort.
10 more
could
years.
Get a lot of extra characters.
10 more years.
10 more years, yeah. I mean, how long is Capcom going to support Street Fighter V until when? 2019?
2020 is the current goal.
Yeah.
2020. So this has got to at least hit that mark, right?
So it's got to be at least infinite amount of time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just think about it. This could be the last Marvel game that you ever need to buy.
I totally don't believe anything like that.
Hey,
$20 DLC packages.
People definitely said Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is it. That's it. Oh, no, Capcom's never going to get the license again now that Disney owns Marvel. Well, look what
we have
right now.
We have Infinite Stones, right? Or the Infinity Stones, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a Marvel thing. And obviously it's going to be Marvel, but are we going to have a Capcom mechanic as well?
Actually, I was wondering, are they actually called Infinity Stones in this game?
Probably.
Because I was wondering, what about Power Stone?
Yeah, can we get
all
power
kind of stones?
Yeah, can we get Power Stones in that too? And if you get them, on the Capcom side, you get a special super form. Maybe that's how the X armor and when Captain Marvel puts on her helmet and the super and shit.
Yeah.
Powerful.
You're talking about putting Capcom stones in the game. We better get Stone Man if that's the case.
Damn. And Gem Man.
Jewel Man is the real
Oh, God.
There you go.
All right, so we're talking about more characters, but there's something that's, I won't say it's missing from here. Some people will argue that it's missing, but this might just be the direction that they're going in. There are no assists in this game. And when you're discussing like the cast list and how big it could go, usually like assist stuff, like if it gets put in a third-party mechanic, that's a good way to fill out it's like strikers. You're like, oh, we don't want to put this character in there in this game, so we put him in as a striker,
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing away with that. They're not going back to Marvel 1.
That's true, but it does look like there are assists of some type. It's just within your team.
Maybe you'll have people run by really fast and throw meter bombs.
And that would be like TVC more or less, right?
Wow. Really, dude?
Like a lot of people were wondering if the tag character could come in for a quick assist like Tatsunoko versus Capcom. But so far, all we've seen is something that's more akin to...
oh, shit, guys. I just thought of something. So, it's Marvel Infinite, and obviously it's based around the whole Infinity Gems, Infinity Stones thing. But what if the name actually implies that there's an infinite amount of characters because there's a create a character mode? You can make your own heroes or Capcom characters.
Can somebody just mute Anthony for the rest of the show?
So, to touch on what he was just saying right now, the whole Infinity part, because of the characters, is something people have theorized, like saying, "Hey, it's called Infinity Infinite because the infinite amount of characters." So that's a possibility, but the most obvious is the Infinity Stones. So
right, yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple easy reasons for it.
Yeah.
There's the Infinity Gems or Stones or whatever you want to call them, part of the Infinity Gauntlet, which they're working on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and because it gets them out of having to call this game Marvel vs. Capcom 4, which I think is a huge thing that people are realizing more and more after looking at the game, because when you look at the game, it doesn't immediately look like Marvel 2 or 3.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a smart way to basically let them take the series in another direction, even if it does borrow heavily, because like we said, all we've seen is this is like pre-alpha, so the game's not even close to done. They may be still like batting around concepts and how they really want the game to play. So what this does is it kind of breaks free of the lineage to some extent and allows them to go, okay, look, it's not called 4. That means don't expect the same shit from 2 and 3.
Right. No assists, no crazy DHCs combos, all that stuff. DH, whatever. Like all that stuff. Like, and the thing is, like, you could still end up with a pretty cool game based on that. Like, it doesn't look like it's not.
No, you totally
fun to play. It's just like a lot of people were just like, "Oh my god, no assists! Like, how am I supposed to mix my opponents up?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, have a mix up,
the same way other people do.
No, this is something I was telling people at the show. I'm like, this is perfect because it separates itself from the main series, and it leaves the door open for, in the event this game flops somehow, that they can just, like, hey, well, it wasn't part of Marvel, like the Marvel vs. Capcom series. This is Infinite. We'll work on 4 now. We'll make this crazy batshit insane 3v3 tag game that you guys all want, and go from there.
Yep.
Well, and also, if anybody's kind of been paying attention to Kinder Party on Twitter talking about Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 coming out on PS4 now, he's talked a little bit about how if this game does well on PS4, more opportunities may open to Verse series.
Darkstalkers are not dead?
I have no idea, but my thought was, honestly, is if this does well, they might rebalance the game.
I mean, that'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
But with the PC version, we don't need other people to rebalance.
Rebalance like Marvel Infinity, or rebalance an old
Marvel 3.
Marvel 3.
To where basically it provides a second option, a numbered option in the series for people. I don't know that that's true, but it seems kind of like this is what people are hinting at.
I'd have to see something from them, like specifically, because we know that they just re-released it on PS4, and so that's definitely brought with it a mini revival. I guess we'll wait to see in a couple of months if that ends up becoming the new Marvel community standard or not. But yeah, I could totally see that getting parlayed that way, especially with like some of these things that are kind of coming out already about the like Marvel on PS4. I won't say it's pretty much like the PS3 version, but it's, like one of the things, it's slower than the Xbox 360 version. So that's one of the hurdles that it faces as replacing the Xbox 360 version, is that it's slower, more or less. So maybe if Marvel Infinity does well, and I don't know if they're going to wait that long or not, they might just fix it, or Infinity. Sorry. If it does well, and maybe they may not wait this long, obviously, because issues like that should be fixed right away.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go give it a closer look and say, you know what, there's probably still some things that we can do with this. Now, the other question, obviously, being with the competitive environment that we now find ourselves in, are they going to add this to their Capcom Cup schedule when it does come out?
I feel like they will, at least for a little bit, because obviously Marvel vs. Capcom 3 didn't really get like another rebalance and stuff like that, but we got like Ultimate pretty quick, probably because of like licensing issues, right? But it was also kind of in the same time where esports weren't nearly as large, but on the come up. And at the same time, Marvel did their whole, we're not going to be dealing with other outside developers with games so much. We're going to essentially eyeball everything. And then Disney closed their video game like studio. So in the wake of that, they're probably like, okay, well, this still gets some play. These things are kind of getting bigger. We can also have our core demographic, but we could also pull other people in, younger, and so obviously the main people from like 25 to 35 and stuff like that. So going back to this obviously isn't a big deal. And even with 3 coming back, yeah, we're seeing a lot more resurgence. And of course, this is something Capcom probably more than loves to do, getting something like this in and more crossovers, more potential. And, I just have to say that if they do a CVS 3, I definitely want Harrison's input so that we can have like Virtua Fighter length rounds in the game. It's like, all right, they hit you, you're gonna take a lot of fucking damage because I am not sitting here for 5 hours on a match.
They're gonna have a competitive mode where if the bracket gets reset, the game just dies.
Everything's single elim.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that is something that people immediately started talking about. CVS 3, does this open the door to more Capcom versus stuff in the future? And obviously with Capcom and SNK currently making exclusives for Sony PlayStation, it's not it's not like the most unheard of possibility. Mm-hmm. They're both basically on the same track, or at least attempting to be on the same track in terms of how they present their product, both as a consumer product and as a competitive product. It would seem to me that for them making CVS 3, if they want to just blow up the competitive side of it, that would be like the best idea. But that's far off in the future anyway. So things are kind of going fine for Capcom. There's no reason for them to do it right now. This is a big step for them. And I think in terms of, I think they're going to keep the competitive edge for Marvel Infinite. But I also feel like because this is going to like totally capitalize on like the Marvel U craze that's like rising up. This is going to probably, I won't say it leans towards the casual player, but it'll probably be like, hey, you know, this is not just for competitive players. You know, you can totally play this competitively, but we're not going to be saying, oh, this is like, you know, like there's not going to be a championship edition, you know, possibly something like that.
I don't know. I feel like any speculation at this point is obviously way too early. We should take it one day at a time. Obviously, this is just something that people will enjoy and people will benefit from. So we should be happy to have that and definitely look for prospects in the future. But like, people obviously are like, oh, CVS3, or, you know, what about this versus game? What about another TVC? And it's like, let's kind of work with what we have first before we just like, overwhelm ourselves.
Yeah, totally. Really, like, there's no rush. Like they just had like the biggest like esports FGC finals ever. With Street Fighter 5, you know?
Do we really want like the Versus game company version of like Saw or something? Oh boy, MVC 7 Jigsaw comes back. I thought it was it.
But speaking of Street Fighter 5 and CBT finals, like, yeah, how about that? You know, Knuckle Do.
Oh yeah,
world champion.
I actually got to see the last match when I was taking a break at work. So other than that, I really didn't get to see much of the tournament other than being really sad seeing Sako lose to Daigo. But yeah, I don't know. It was really cool. I made a tweet based around the grand finals and about how a certain gaming organization might have truly been the strongest of them all.
Oh my god!
Stop it.
So if in case anybody here did actually miss it, CPT 2016 grand finals, well, the entire finals occurred yesterday, and for the first time ever, I would say even at a stage of that size.
It was
Saturday, which isn't yesterday. That was Sunday.
Oh, my bad. I'm still
Your weekend disappeared.
I'm so used to like these kind of things being the Sunday, you know, like Sunday.
Oh no, it was messing me up all weekend because Friday, because when they got down to top 8, I was like, man, it feels like Saturday.
Totally, right?
Yeah, that's what Hellbox and I kept saying. It's like, man,
I was in a time warp the whole
tomorrow's
time.
gonna suck. I'm not looking forward to Saturday. It's like, wait, or I'm not looking forward to Sunday. Wait, today's Friday. What?
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the first time on a stage that size that we saw two Americans in grand finals. Now, this obviously has nothing to do with where they're from. These are two just great players. Ricky and Du were amazing the entire weekend. And I made a statement during an interview where somebody was saying, you know, Ricky up on the stage at, you know, during grand finals, like who saw that coming? And
I wouldn't have ruled it out.
I wouldn't have ruled once she got there. I was like, well, I mean, she's definitely known to get hot pretty dramatically, you know?
Yeah, like there's been some tournaments where like, oh, Justin will do this or that, and then like, you know, other EG members or whatever get knocked out before even top 16. And then there's Ricky like in the cut, like third place almost, you know? Like it's not unheard of in any sense.
Not at all. And
she's had problems in the past of just finishing sets, but she shook that this weekend. Like, you know, she went up against it too, because there was a couple times where she went 2-0 and then ended up pulling it out 3-2.
Oh yeah.
But she was still able to always do it, and she kept doing it. And like I was like, and as the weekend went on, you saw her consistency going up, and you know, she was always there. Like, because you know, some people, they would have a match they played pretty well, they would kind of like go back and forth, because Friday when the tournament started, it looked like everybody was shaking. Like there was some, I don't think you can necessarily call it super sloppy, but there was definitely some, whoa, what was that?
Yeah,
kind of happening Friday morning.
Even
Friday morning, boy.
Even Knuckle Do in one of the few matches that I did see, essentially had the game, hit a combo, activated V trigger through a bunch of sonic booms, and then had super but didn't do it, and like
yes,
he still won, but it was just like that was the guaranteed win.
So I think what happened was he was supposed to dash up super and he didn't get dash, so he kind of like froze and didn't know what to do, and then he just like burned all of EX meter. But it worked out.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes it's just like, you know, you just overwhelm somebody with like, you know, the attempt to recover from an accident, you know. And I didn't get to see a lot of the morning matches because I got there later. But when I got to Esports Arena and they told us who was out already or who was in losers, I was like, whoa. And I know what I heard. I immediately just checked. I went up there and like, and Gibby can attest to this. I say, how's Xiaohai doing, right? And fucking Black Rose is like, oh, he's already went 0-2. I'm like, no way.
Your pick, man. The pocket.
But I would have totally bought it. Like I know he got thrown out later on, but like at the time when I found out who was already out, I was just like, is he still in? Is Xiaohai still in? Holy crap. And everybody was messing with me. So I was just like, God damn it. And I found out he was still in, so that was cool. But yeah, man, that was crazy. Like everybody who you could call a favorite, everybody that people were talking about to go the whole way, to take the title.
Yeah.
They were dead in 2 minutes.
I know. Like people that are speculated to do really, really poorly, 0-2, 1-2, ended up like getting like 3 or 4 wins and stuff like that. Other people get knocked out. Like when I saw the first early records of Infiltration and Tokido being out, I was just baffled. I was like, what?
And it wasn't like they were just like, you know, oh, I'll try again next time. You know, they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what happened?
I'm fucking Tokido. What the fuck?
I don't even know what happened because I didn't get to watch it, but was it nerves? Was it just like those guys being on the top so long they got studied super hard, or what?
What I heard was that Shen Chang was talking about Human Bomb versus Infiltration, and he said that in tournaments this year, Human Bomb has actually been able to beat Infiltration.
Oh, it's just been his demon?
I guess it's just a wavelength thing. DRA just stomped Tokido. I missed some of it, but what I watched, I was like, oh, that was kind of ugly.
Yeah, that one I saw the whole thing too, and Jesus, like Tokido had no idea what to do. Like he
just got he literally got his shit rushed down.
Yeah,
that be happening sometimes, man. Like, you know, like everybody who's been playing fighting games for a year can tell you that sometimes people just aren't ready for stuff, you know, and these people that these players that people call gods, we assume that they're infallible in terms of what they're ready for and what they can do in response to things. But I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Infiltration was getting booted in the ass a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that long ago that Tokido couldn't win shit either. And I'm not saying that it just all went away and that they're frauds and this whole year has been like, you know, a complete sham because it's a new game. But, you know, less than a year, it's kind of hard to learn everything.
Yeah.
And these people are here at this level for a reason because they beat everybody else. So
no, that's something I wanted to bring up. I saw a lot of people talking shit about like the players going 0-2 or like Justin. This is the 3rd time he's been in CPT and he's gone 0-2 each time. And people like are talking shit like, oh man, look at this. Like why is he even in top 32? He went 0-2. He got into top 32. Like all these players got there. Like they earned their spots. Like sure, some travel to more tournaments than others. Some won the premier events, but still they are there. They're like some of the best players in the world. Giving them shit for going 0-2 was some of the dumbest shit you could do. Like why? Like I understand if you're gonna talk shit, but why talk shit? Ah man, you're trash. You went 0-2 when there was only 32 people left out of like thousands, tens
the
of
best
thousands.
in the freaking world, right? Like,
and you know, like I totally understand for the players. I'm sure for some of them it has to be pretty devastating.
Oh yeah,
but
people were crying, like literally.
But to basically be like, man, this player sucks. Like what? What? That doesn't even make sense. So
they obviously were good enough to win something that put them in the contention. Like even going so far as to say, like, F Champ, Chris Tartari, and Julio. Like they beat enough people to earn their spot there.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to take, and this is not taking anything away from the people who played really well that day, but this is sort of an any given Sunday scenario here.
Oh, totally.
Because it's a one-day tournament. Capcom Pro Tour was a year-long event where you accrued points to be there. All these people had accrued enough points over the year, but you can still have one bad day.
Oh yeah.
Or it just could be a day where somebody's better. You may not even have to play bad, but the other person could just be on some amazing shit that day.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and to further go into what Paul was just talking about, a lot of people don't seem to get Friday started at, like, for the players, they were there at like 8 or 9 in the morning, and they were there till almost midnight, if not.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, that's a marathon.
So as a player, that takes a lot out of you. Even if you're not playing every match, you're waiting 3 to 4 hours just for your next match. You have nothing to do. You just like fall asleep. You're just not ready. You can't do anything. Like, I felt really bad for a lot of the players, and I don't know why it was ran that way. Where it was I understand why every match was on stream, but there could have been a secondary stream to like speed the process up.
And what I don't want to do is I don't want to make this an excuse either. Like,
No.
some people were just ready for it. Other people weren't ready for it. And some people were just ready that day and other people weren't. I think to try to read more into that than just say on this day these players were better than these players, I think you can't. Well, I mean, people are gonna do it, but it's unfair to do it because your sample is nothing. It's one day. It's in some cases two sets. Like Tokido played 6 games. That was it.
Yeah.
Maybe for some other players, maybe some players need 6 games just to warm up normally. So,
yeah.
And we've talked about 2 out of 3 versus 3 out of 5 versus 4 out of 7, and how some people just like to play more, and that could have weighed in a factor. Who knows? It's just that on that day, NuckleDu was the best player, and he deserved to win.
Yeah. Now, this is to take nothing away, especially from Infiltration, who definitely dominated the entire season so far as the winning Evo, which is comparable to CPT in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, what, world heavyweight versus, like some other belt highly regarded, universal. Yeah, more or less. It's like
it's champion versus champion, and we didn't get to see it obviously in the grand finals, but it's still something where, like, there's people here who have beaten everybody in the world in larger sampling sizes.
Oh yeah.
And if they can't win, that doesn't mean that they're not good anymore.
Exactly.
But anyway, so enough about that. I want to congratulate NuckleDu.
So I think people, Ace King Offsuit made a tweet on Saturday saying that the last time an American won the top Street Fighter game at EVO was, I believe, 2003, Jason Cole winning ST.
Damn.
I believe that was the year. Now, he was saying that because that was the marquee game at the time.
Uh-huh.
What I would say is more akin is John Choi winning ST and CVS2 in 2008.
Mm.
Which, having been there in 2008, was an amazing experience. And I'm sure for people who were there this weekend, it was an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Either way you look at it, we're talking about almost a decade or more than a decade since the U.S. won one of these really, now like an EVO, a national, a global tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
And it's something to show, like, for Ricky and Du to be there at the end. Not only was did Du win, but Ricky got second. It was all U.S. winners finals.
I know, unheard of.
Like,
and it's like both of them were from winners too.
Yeah,
they both came from the winners bracket in top 8.
Ricky only lost to Du.
It was really cool, because honestly, U.S. we've gotten so used to losing to everybody as it comes down, really.
Well, yeah, you kind of can't help. I mean, when we're talking Street Fighter, definitely.
Yeah. So I kind of want to segue this into somewhat of a similar thing. So if you have anything else, do you have any more to say on the topic? Because I want to talk about.
I was just bringing it up.
Street Fighter 5. Okay, so how do you guys feel about Street Fighter 5 at the moment being a console-only game? Did that give everybody the more even playing field? Did that favor the American scene more? Like, not, because obviously a lot of times before, Japan had the game in arcades before we even saw it on console, right? Before even maybe a console release date. Like,
I think it.
Did that really matter at this point, or was it just more so the?
I think it mattered, at least to some degree. I don't know. I don't know if it's as big as some people would argue, because I think it's too hard to say.
It is. It's something where we changed the way that we receive these games, and the result changed.
Right.
There's a couple other factors at play there that we can't really qualify, but they were there. But the big one being that obviously this was not in arcades, and so the pool of players in Japan might have been smaller. That's something that people could argue, definitely.
Yeah. And obviously it wasn't as easy for like Japan to get matches. You can't just roll up to the arcade and start playing.
Right. Obviously that's changing very soon. They're putting it on Mexico 2, I believe, and it's going to be it's probably going to take off. But right now we can probably say that two things. One, it's a console game only, and two, the expected result changed. Now, at the same time, I don't know if that really affects other regions of the world that don't have such a big arcade culture. Like Korea. Korea doesn't have a tremendous arcade culture. They're more of a LAN party, LAN center kind of thing, right? People will play at home. They do have arcades, they're cool and whatnot, but like Infiltration until he just spends all his time in training mode, and he was able to dominate everybody very soundly the entire year. Previously, Ultra Street Fighter 4 had been an arcade game, and he was still doing well.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to say what happened. What happened to make things change? It could just be simply that and most likely, Dude was an awesome player, and that's always been true.
Well, yeah, because I also feel like these are the people we saw are obviously amazing players and have consistently played amazingly. And while that not necessarily have been the biggest thing, I feel like the climate with how fighting games have gotten to be so large, and people are definitely spending even more time devoted to that, and there's just so much more resources out there that maybe necessarily accessibility is obviously an option, but to just be able to invest so much time in this and to really to hammer out all the details, I feel like everybody's pretty equal.
We're only going to be able to tell when all of it is available in the classic sense, I would say, where everybody has it on, Steam, PC, console, and arcade.
Yeah.
So.
I think too you have to look at the results from the year, because basically, did results look that different this year overall than they have in the past when the releases were on arcade? Honestly, not really. So it could speak to more of a change in U.S. play and U.S. play style and U.S. knowledge. Because in the past, we haven't gotten a lot of wins. We haven't gotten many wins even now. We got one big one. I mean, it's a big one, but it's still only one. So maybe it really just speaks to, like Walkman said, about just, Do being really good on that day. Ricky being really good on that day. They stepped it up.
Yeah, and that happens all the time,
Yeah.
And now we've got to deal with a completely new beast because they announced season 2, right?
Yes.
So
and here's the interesting thing, and this is actually, and I think I honestly had kind of glazed over this in my mind, that season 2 is sort of going to be, from what they're saying, a big change. And they waited almost a year to do that. Thumbs up to Capcom for waiting. Because if I mean, we've talked about this in the past, is I really hate the NRS patch every other month shit. I hate it. And I like those games. I liked MK9. First Injustice is pretty good. I haven't really played XL, but it's just, that shit, it's tiring is what it is. It's tiring for the player base.
So here's the thing. it's definitely tiring for the player base. And then at the same time, you also got stupid people out there being like, oh, Ken's fucking stupid, dumb character, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I get it. You know, some characters are better than others. But you guys had to let it rock until the next version of the game back in the day. Mm-hmm. And obviously these days, you don't have to do that. But it's like more so the grand pressure of such a multiple amount of people who might not even really care about the game that much, or they don't play it super competitively or anything like that. And obviously things can be busted. But because of the availability of being able to patch games on the fly, and with a lot of people complaining about stuff, it really probably does push devs in like a problem. Be like, oh man, we don't want to lose fans, we want to appease them, but what do we do? Before they kind of just had to deal with it. So I feel like having the ability to just say no, maybe fix a few bugs here and there, like I'm totally cool with that. And yeah, between seasons, just let it rock. Yeah, some things are gonna be strong because if you nerfed anything, you'd be the next person everyone could play. Oh man, it's so stupid. Oh, I can't believe that Fong can shoot 8 fireballs at the same time. Oh my god, who knows?
I mean, we're already dealing with that with KOF 14. They nerfed Knack, and now people are like, oh shit, look at freaking Leona. Crap, she can just press buttons and I can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, she was already great before, but this is definitely the power creep that happened.
Oh yeah.
She got nerfed, and now she's the top of the line because everybody else kind of got pulled back. Do you really just want a fighting game where everybody sucks, people? Come on,
Sometimes I think that's what people want.
That's that is.
They don't know that they want it, but that's what they're asking for.
Nobody wants to be overpowered.
Some Bart Simpson wants pepper on his food. We just got to give him the too much take it back patch and just be like, all right, everybody sucks.
Spit in my console.
So it's going to be really interesting. Akuma rolls out December 20, and it's looking like that's when the changes for Season 2 are going to roll out as well. Although they've said that in the next 2 weeks, they're going to give us kind of a... I don't know if we're getting the full list or if we're just getting kind of a partial list, Combo Fiend said, of what they're going to do with it. Some of the changes people found at PlayStation Experience are... People are kind of wishy-washy on that right now, kind of well, maybe this is going to be okay, and then some people are like, holy shit, this is going to be bad, and other people are like, this is going to be great. So it's the normal wide range of opinions when you don't see things in motion yet.
Yeah, and we work through it every time.
Yeah.
I don't think I was also during the interview I was also saying people probably had high expectations for Street Fighter V going into CPT weekend, even unrelated to Akuma in season 2. But the inclusion of those things obviously skyrocketed, interest. So we're gonna have when these drop, there's going to be a solid month of Afterglow,
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Call it, and then we're gonna get into what's wrong and what's great about it and whatnot, and it's just gonna repeat. And I think that's just a cycle, and you giving it a year, like you said before, allows that cycle to play itself out. And Capcom had some huge balls doing that, because there are some companies who, and I'm not saying they don't have balls, they just approach it differently. As SNK, for example, and the way they did this is beautiful in my opinion, where they decided they were going to update the game frequently, and they were going to listen to, player input. Maybe not all of it, obviously, but they were going to listen to player input, but they were also going to mix it with things that they were seeing on their own. They were doing their homework here. A good example of that was when they finally did do the balance patch, and everybody saw Knack got nerfed. One of the bigger things that a lot of us were worried about was man, everybody's complaining about Knack, and nobody's looking at Athena or K,
Mm-hmm.
And then we play the game, and boom, Athena and K are not grossly nerfed, but they are definitely, the teeth were cut a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, wow, either they were told by a very reliable source that this needed to happen, which is possible, or they were sitting there with the game themselves saying, wow, this is really good, and it's kind of broken.
Yeah. I definitely think after the dust settled Athena and K-Dash are still in pretty solid places.
Definitely.
But some other characters just got the stick, man. Like some things just I don't know.
They just don't love the big bodies, huh?
I don't know, man.
Don't complain. You're a project in progress. You can't.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
The project's gonna be Daimon's gonna become the next quarterback for the 49ers and get the fucking axe.
Oh my god.
To Street Fighter V Season 2. They also announced, or they not announced, they showed the silhouette to the next 5 DLC characters. So the first one we're getting is Akuma, and then the next 5 I believe will be rolling out next year. We can assume it's the same as this year, where it's one every 2 months. And it says all completely new to the Street Fighter universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, what are all your thoughts on that?
I think that's genius. That like totally prevents leaks, right?
I feel like
no, it doesn't necessarily prevent leaks because you can just leak the new characters.
Well,
it creates more fakes.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely creates more fakes. I was gonna say prior to the announcement that they were gonna have them thrown up there. It prevented leaks because people were just like, oh, here you go, this list, these silhouettes. I'm like, what the hell are these? All right, we're gonna leak these silhouettes.
Yeah,
one of the last time.
Yeah, one of the bigger supposed leaks for Street Fighter V Season 2 was Sagat being in it.
Yeah,
plenty of people were talking about it, and those silhouettes look nothing like Sagat. So we'll see.
None of them look like Gene from God Hand. None of them look like.
That's for MVCI. I
don't think he fits in Marvel. I'm sorry. I think he is grounded in Street Fighter. He'll be stupid, but he'll fit.
He could be a Marvel.
Possibly. I don't know. But yeah, so I think that's cool. I think adding new characters to this universe is a great idea. Now, the only thing I'm kind of bothered by, and it's been something that I've been bothered by since pretty much Street Fighter 4, is that since this is in between Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 3, like, where are all these people?
Yeah. Okay, so a big thing I have to say about this is that remember Street Fighter 3? By third strike, we had 4 returning characters. Every other character was new outside of, I guess technically you could call Hugo not new, but I'll count him as a new character, Sure, the Andori family existed, but he was his own character.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a game with 20 characters and only 4 of them were classics. And I feel like I like that model better, where you just come in the game, you come in hot, with all new characters, and maybe you bring a couple old staples in. But obviously, this is kind of going back more towards we don't have original 8, but we got to bring back other people. Some of the characters released are going to be them. And so I just feel like I wish they would have started with just a bunch of more new characters. But there's nothing wrong with that. I like new characters. I like new and interesting concepts. I also don't, or I like the fact that with these new characters, we don't have to worry about, cutting her Rekkas are her V trigger. Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on. Like, remember that integral part of her gameplay? Well, now it's her special move, like this other thing.
They can only get to take a bunch of damage, and you're like, oh, great.
But on the other hand, you have to look at, if you look at Street Fighter 3 as the template, having all those new characters is also why the game was poorly received.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate because in retrospect now, people are like, oh, where's Oro? Where's Necro? Where's, all these people? Like, they do like them. It just, you got to give them time to warm up to it,
Yeah, I remember people hating Oro.
And that what kind of is interesting about this choice, because by all accounts, Street Fighter V has not sold particularly well.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to ramp up sales, I would have thought what you would have done in Season 2 is actually kind of hit more just really desired characters, like favorites, even cult characters to try to get.
Yeah.
But
a crowd maybe you didn't have.
Yeah, but I guess maybe what they're trying to go for is a completely different crowd, where they're like, hey, maybe you aren't, a 15-year veteran of Street Fighter. Maybe you barely played Street Fighter 4. But so these are brand new characters that nobody else has played either. So you can go into them feeling like you're not an idiot.
That market is definitely bigger than the other one. So
well, let's look at Gear, for example. Like people generally like the new characters except Leo, but you know, everyone else seems to be pretty well received.
Yeah,
you know?
I haven't heard too many complaints about. Well, I mean, other than gameplay wise, but yeah, other than other than that, like I haven't heard too much. Like people love Elfelt, they love.
We got lots of
Ram
Jacko
Lethal.
players, Ramlethal, you know, Sin. People, I don't know. People still have hard feelings about Sin.
Hard feelings about getting hit by Beak Driver all day.
Oh, don't worry. It's more unsafe now. Oh, okay. Well, I still got hit, so. Well, that's the problem.
It'll be interesting. It does feel like after all these months of like them releasing all these character profiles on the Fight Network website, that it's kind of like they were leading up to this the whole time. They're like, hey, there might be some new characters coming.
But okay, so they said that they haven't existed in the Street Fighter universe at all, or
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see. I think it's particularly vague on purpose.
Okay, I just would we're not going to be seeing like Ingrid or or
I
even
hope
like
we don't see Ingrid.
Well,
It
yeah,
was in an alpha game though, so.
no, I know, but you know what I mean. Like, I mean, even like the other two new characters, they even had a thing for Rook or Luke, as they call him.
Yeah,
you know,
from Fighting All Stars.
He was never in the game technically, except for the beta. So
Well, here's an interesting thing, right? Well, people were hacking the game when story mode came out, and we saw all those models that were quote unquote playable with techniques for the dolls, especially.
Yeah.
Those characters would probably be down the pipeline eventually. So maybe that was something they possibly thought could happen in season 2. But once the hacks came out, they're like, well, let's bring out these newer characters. Let's show them that we can actually be creative here. You know.
They were just like, we got 70K on Twitch. Let's roll out with the new characters.
Yeah, and they're probably cool as hell.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say that. I never can count on anybody being cool as a character anymore, despite previous
Come on, you like Nelson.
trends. That's because Nelson is a G.
Yeah, but Nelson is such an uninteresting character in the story. But he has potential to do a lot more. It's like, who's this guy? Oh, he was a good boxer, and then he lost his arm, and then it's like, oh,
hey man, that's tragic. Like you're making your living.
He did it while saving someone. He's a benevolent hero.
Exactly, man. And plus you're making money for your girl. You're trying to get married, and all of a sudden you're in an accident. You lose your arm, and you're like, crap. I got to make some money so I can marry my girl. And so I'm joining this King of Fighters tournament.
It's all a work.
It's all work. They've been using you the whole time. He's a government conspiracy.
So like now we have another subplot to a game that already has 10 subplots that have been going around since the 2000s. Like,
man, that sounds like some Ultra Tech Killer Instinct shit. So, I do kind of want to talk about KOF 14 this weekend, as opposed to it kind of felt like KOF 14 was completely, it felt like to me it was completely overshadowed by Capcom.
Well, yeah, that was to be expected for the most part.
And this is something we had talked about with KOF 14 kind of coming out in this sort of lull period, and that they sort of needed to get their shit together. And I have mentioned this to you earlier on Twitter today. I don't think they have the time to do that anymore.
Right, and I definitely have been thinking about that for the better part of the year. It's getting to the point now where, as far as that World Championship Series goes, they are going to have to pull the trigger on something. The whole radio silence, we came out with a comical trailer thing. It was cute. People laughed, and now people want to know who's going where is this going to be at, when's it happening, what's on the line. And it's frustrating. Obviously, people are getting impatient because they want this to succeed.
Yeah,
they want, and everybody's willing to throw in on this. I want people to understand that the SNK community and SNK itself is not like they're just throwing their hands up and like whatever. No, nobody's helping out. Nobody wants to do it. Well, just let it crash. Like people are trying to work things out here, and it could be going better, obviously, and that was something that Gibby and I are hoping to help along any way we can. Obviously, with the Evo season approaching, hopefully, KOF 14 is part of the lineup. That would help out tremendously. But again, doesn't really do much for the WCS. On the other, and that's all I really know about it. I don't really know anything else other than that. they're working on it. They want it to work, but at the same time, I mean, and in my opinion, I think they should postpone it. I think at this point, you know, there's going to be some credibility loss, regardless, you know. But I would rather see them lose credibility because they were trying to do something right than trying to slap something together last minute and making themselves look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that because we're looking at it right now is that, you know, if Street Fighter V was static going into 2017, I wouldn't feel so bad about it. But you're going to be looking at a whole new, basically a brand new version of Street Fighter V going forward in 2017. Tekken 7 is coming out, which is going to have its own, it already has a built-in player base, and a lot more people are starting to really consider that game something they want to play. So it's going to be taking people away. And it sort of looks like KOF 14 is already a second or a third game for people. And that's not where SNK really wants to be with this, especially when they're trying to start over.
Mm-hmm. And I think that
that's without even and that's without talking about Injustice 2, which we still don't know much about.
Right. Now, this is where I think that they're going to start doing well is where they actually start grabbing the attention of people. And it's only just started like last week, more or less, with the release of the updated imagery that's going to be coming out in I believe a month. They were saying it's going to be in January.
Yeah.
January.
It's going to be in January. So that's, and everybody, like, you know, for the most part, if they're not impressed by the visuals alone, they are impressed by the gesture. And they are impressed by the willingness of SNK to continuously work on this product to make it presentable for people who, not even for people, for themselves. It's almost like a personal project for them because they've made beautiful games in the past and they're just like, we can do better than this, you know? Mm-hmm. So why would we not work on this?
My question becomes, isn't this in some ways too little too late? Like, are you going to get new purchases of KOF 14 because of this?
That is a tough thing.
I'm not sure if maybe necessarily that'll be the case, but what it will definitely show is integrity from SNK's part. So with future for new projects, like, wouldn't you have a little bit more faith than you did originally?
Well, there's something to be said about the season.
No, I definitely would. I would agree with you there.
Like the seasonal program that fighting games have adopted recently is definitely something that can happen with a King of Fighters, and it's possible that, you know, maybe first season might have to be a wash. It didn't do terribly. It definitely got enough buzz going that when they did start working on it, people got excited. But it's possible that they may have to wait for that new explosion of sales to come when they do announce season 2. And this is just the prequel to that, more or less. Now, in the meantime, they are looking to build up their community of players as much as possible with the esports outreach program, which is something that's unprecedented. You know, well, you can basically run a 20-man tournament and you get you know, advertisement from SNK. You get, you know, they link your stream, they retweet you, they give you prizes, money, toys, whatever. They are reaching out.
You know what kind of sucks is it feels like that really should have been their program for 2016 into 2017. It should have just been that. They should have worked on the game and that. But I feel like with announcing the championship, which we still don't know shit about, it's like they tried to do too much too fast.
Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like that is the case, but you can't necessarily fault them for that because they're trying to get back into the game. You know, they hit the gym and they're like, all right, I'm gonna go bench like 300, and it's like, well, slow down, buddy. Like, it's been a while.
And like you said, like the release window for this information, or basically the time of the day, the ETA on this tournament, the championship, was probably the only bad decision they made in this case, because that's really the only thing people are glaring at. And maybe, you know, it might work. I don't know. There's still time. I'm hopeful, obviously, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, this is gonna be really hard with like as little time that goes into this, and we don't know where it's gonna be at. And you know, it's all rumors, but people are believing it could be in China, and that means people need passports, and they may not have those yet. You know, and if it's not in China, it's in America, then where are they gonna have qualification spots across the rest of the world, and how are they gonna get over here? You know, there's gonna be a lot to be done within the window of early 2017. And
let's just do it in Australia.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Neutral zone?
Yeah.
They don't care. They'll be happy to have us, man.
I'd love to go.
Yeah.
Maybe not during peak season.
But that's still like, like that's just, I feel like one part of it. And like you said, that should have, the esports outreach program would have been the perfect platform to open up with.
I really love that idea though. It's great.
Yeah. And I don't think that should be thrown aside because this world championship thing might be a bust for now. It could end up being great later on if they try it again. But the esports outreach program definitely needs to be adhered to, because there are people who want to play this game and they want to host tournaments or they want to go to tournaments. And SNK is basically telling them, like, this is something we want to support. We believe in you guys because you believe in us. And that amount of
keep going.
You know what I'm saying? And that amount of passion, you don't always see that from developers. You don't see that amount of passion for the players and for the art style from fighting game developers a lot. You often see a lot of bottom line and a lot of, like, just head shaking going on, saying, "Oh, we can't do that. Oh, too much money. Can't take that out. Bring it out next year."
Yeah.
Like SNK just wants it all out now. They want this to work, and I think that just matches the intensity of the players.
I would feel personally like if it was sooner as opposed to later, and obviously this probably isn't going to happen, but if they decided to, I kind of feel like they should just be like, "Hey, we're postponing the world championship. Like, in retrospect, the time scale that we have for it isn't going to necessarily work out. But, like, we're still doing it, but just like postpone it like a year or like 8 months or something, Mm-hmm. I wouldn't fault them for that. Like, I would appreciate that more rather than just being like, push it out, send it out now. We got to do it. We already said it. And it's like, I get it, but be a bit more transparent about it. Like, if you think that, like, maybe have second thoughts about it, there's definitely just a lot of things. I mean, I'm sure it'll probably still be okay as is now, and will definitely get better in the future, provided, this doesn't like bankrupt a company or something, which I'm sure it shouldn't. But I don't know. I'm sure other people don't agree with me, but I definitely feel like, maybe put it back in the oven for a little while. Don't eat some raw dough.
I think, especially with the FGC's history in this topic, that most of it would agree with you on this. That if it's not ready, don't bring it out, because we have seen what happens when a tournament happens and it wasn't ready to happen, and nothing was working right. People weren't getting paid.
Yeah,
people got suckered into going places and then ended up holding the bill.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely looking forward to what's in store, but I really just am not too sure about it all right now, because obviously we also know nothing about it. So, like,
yeah, we don't know anything about it. So there's no dates been late. There's been travel.
Yeah, who knows? For all we know, the World Championship really won't happen until like next October, next November. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
put in a little more time.
Let it marinate a little bit.
It's like you guys said, though. SNK's coming back. They're new to this again, and they're taking their own time, and that's fine. Especially with what you said, they're trying to rebuild player confidence, consumer confidence, but then they need to work at their own time and not try to get ahead of themselves too, because I think the player base would be very understanding of them just being like, hey, because they were when they announced that, hey, 14, we're kind of coming back into this. A lot of players were very receptive of the game, even though it's not the prettiest thing out there. They're like, no, it's okay. We understand. We love your company. We love your work. I think they would be much better served just being like, we're dipping our toe into this whole esports thing with this, the possible sponsorship thing for tournaments. I feel like when you start overreaching and being like, we're going to promise you this great big thing, and then that's when you start losing people.
Yeah. It's gonna be,
and that's what I worry about.
It's gonna be so grandiose when you get to it. There's gonna be like a ballroom. Everybody's gonna be wearing like coats and tails. It's like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah.
Don't promise me the world. Just tell me, like, I promise you that it's not gonna be like, outside at the park you know, it's some weird odd hours and there's gonna be a birthday party across the way. Like, you know, it's gonna be okay.
It's like if you promise me, hey, look, finals are going to be at the Howard Johnson. You know, that's actually reasonable, as opposed to, hey, we're having them at Caesar's Palace, and then they're out back on the garbage cans. I mean,
right.
As long as they happen, man.
Set your expectations appropriately, please.
Yeah.
and I think the KOF community is ready for that to happen, and mainly what we have to do is just let them go and make their own decisions, and we have to be ready for whatever may happen, because if we love the game, we're going to keep playing it regardless if there's a World Championship Series or not.
Yeah.
That is completely secondary to actually playing the game and being part of the FGC.
And
also stop tripping off a PC release, man. Like, when's the last time they released a fucking PC version of the game? Less than a year after it came out. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, well, obviously, UMVC 3 is coming out on PC eventually, so you have to wait a little bit. But like, look at Tekken. Tekken, we're gonna get it. Granted, we've been waiting for like 2 years, 2.5 years, almost 3, for some ridiculous amount of time that they always have.
Revelator's coming to PC.
It is, but I'm afraid is Revelator 2 gonna come out? Because like last time they released the Exert on PC, and then Revelator came out like 3 months later, 4 months later.
Yeah, probably.
But none of that's SNK. None of that's SNK. That's other.
I know.
But on that subject, I don't think, did we mention it last week? I forgot when it was announced, but they're gonna be doing updates. What is it, like concurrent updates for them? Like everything is gonna be the same for PlayStation 4 and PC now.
That's great.
Oh wow.
I forgot where this was announced. Everyone was talking about it at PSX.
I had no idea, but
remember when it was announced. I know it was announced because I discussed it with someone. But
what game is this?
Revelator.
Oh, Revelator. Oh yeah. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any information about it. Yeah.
Paul, you know anything?
Wait, what'd you say?
Revelator getting updated same time frame that the PlayStation version gets updated, or like future iterations of Guilty Gear getting updated at the same time.
I haven't heard too much about Revelator getting updated actually. So
okay.
That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I fully expect it to happen, but
yeah, Viking's coming, obviously.
Yeah.
I say with tears and like my eyes bloodshot.
Speaking of tears, we have a lot of questions, and I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of them. So sorry.
Well, we might as well start now. We got 11 minutes.
All right, so we're going to go with these two first. Okay, so Red Mage asks, what is the possibility that MVCI will be a free-to-play game? I personally think there's no possibility of that.
Yeah,
you don't want it to be a free-to-play game, man.
So it's not even necessarily even wanting a free-to-play game. We have free-to-play quality games such as Overwatch out now that you have to pay $40 to play. So yeah, hell no. Free-to-play might be dead. It might be like, yeah, pay now and then you can unlock shit in game kind of again, but pay up front. Give us the money. Imagine if it was like free-to-play movies, like at a movie theater, and they just played ads like constantly.
Oh God, just stab me.
Right. So you want to watch the movie, huh? All right, well, you got to fill up like 30 popcorn boxes. All right.
Your computer screen may have a virus already.
All right, next
question is from Lionheart16. He says, well, Asura's my boy for MVCI. Who do each of us want to see most in this game for the first time in this game?
I've been trying to think about that too, and I'm not sure yet because there's so many characters that Capcom hasn't touched in such a long time.
Breath of Fire 4 Ryu.
That'd be dope.
I told you guys my conspiracy theory that Street Fighter Cross Tekken is a Breath of Fire game because it has both Ryu and Nina in it, right?
Yes, you did. If I actually got to pick characters, I'd love to see Black Tiger.
Oh, that would be good.
I would actually also like to see fucking Rad Spencer, the actual Bionic Commando. I know there was a skin in Ultimate, but it's not him. Come on, man.
You don't think Super Joe would make a comeback or something like that?
That would be actually really tight.
Super Joe would be sick.
I would be really happy for that.
I was talking to Capcom about this weekend, and all but one person at Capcom thought I was insane. So Arthur was in the last game. Let's put Print in this, and this time she's like balls out, like I'm gonna fucking save Arthur this time. Beat the shit out of people. No one's taking me anywhere this time. I'm gonna kill all of you. And I just want that. I really want Print.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Or who knows? They'll put the what's it called? Maximo or something.
Actually, Maximo.
You know what? Maximo would be cool. I think a lot of people forget about Maximo. So.
Ghost of Glory, baby.
Okay, I do have to say this. Shigundo in chat definitely put up one I've wanted for a long time, which is Little Nemo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that'll never happen.
It could.
Also, actually, is Little Nemo? Are they public?
It's public. Little Nemo's public domain. It's over 100 years.
I'm gonna put Little Nemo in every one of my games if I make a game. Then.
Yeah, Little Nemo. The comic started. I want to say the comic started in the late 1890s, if not the early 1900s.
I thought it was early 1900s, like 1917 or something, or like the 38s or something.
No, it was earlier than that. I want to say it's like.
It was pretty turn of the century.
Yeah, it's super turn of the century.
Speaking of characters coming back. Shumagarath. You think he'll be back in this game just because?
Maybe. He definitely has. So we're talking about Capcom right now. I think it's easier to speculate what the Marvel characters will be, knowing the Marvel release schedule. But also, you got to think about these properties that are already existing. You could see other people from that, and it also makes me wonder too. Like, are we going to see characters like Crossbones was in Captain America 2 and 3, right? So, I mean, I'm not sure if he'll come back because of certain stipulations if you haven't seen it or not. But,
I like how that's the worst protection of spoilers I've ever heard.
But, is it possible that we could even see characters that we haven't, like we've seen like a while ago, like the, what is it? Who's Iron Man fighting the first one? The Iron...
Oh,
Mongol or whatever? Yeah, Margaret. Yeah, we could see stuff like that. Are we going to look for stuff in the future?
I want Crossbones to come back, and he can only say the line from Captain America and the Avengers, the arcade game, where he's just like, "You can't go through," and then he just walks away.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, all right. Thanks, man.
Chris, you didn't give your answer.
I did.
Oh, who'd you give?
Breath of Fire 4 Ryu.
Oh yeah.
I want to see a Breath of Fire character in a fighting game for the longest time. I definitely think that is one of Capcom's least used IPs, but it's most beloved.
Yes.
I don't understand why they continue to not dig into that pocket and pull out some.
It's because they hate your freedom.
I guess, yeah.
They're talking about they're looking to bring back old franchises.
Yeah, but Black Rose and I talked about Breath of Fire characters in it, and both of us agree it would have to be Gar from 3.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It has to be Gar from 3. No one else. Like, it needs to be him. I mean, mind you, there are other characters you can put in. There's Ray, there's Gar, there's Rui. You can just throw all of them in. Hell, you can put Pico. That's his name, right?
I would like Gar just so he could like range people from full screen with a spear.
Actually, you know what? I would like a Power Stone character. Put in Fokker or something like that.
Wow. I don't think that would go over well with
Marvel. Falcon, whatever you want to know what his name is. I do think that there is a possibility though that we could get people like Tabitha or other Red Earth characters in again.
I actually don't want Rival Schools characters.
I do, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on it.
Yeah, I think that Rival Schools characters should just get their own game.
Well, I agree with that too.
That shit ain't fucking happening.
But they said they wanted to.
All right, next question.
Like Legends 3. Like Legends 3.
Go ahead, Gibby.
Reiki, you asked 48 questions.
I heard myself.
We're going to summarize.
They're all individual questions. God damn it. Uh-huh. Okay, Are we kind of answered that one? That one. This is kind of with this is in regards to KOF with 1.10 coming in January. What else, in your opinion, could potentially change leading to arcade release in 2017?
Wait, what?
For KOF 14.
Did my opinion change on what?
What else, in your opinion, can change?
Oh, for the arcade edition?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anything. Honestly, anything. Either everything or nothing, you know.
I mean, they've already proven that they're willing to touch anything in this game, so
yeah.
like it's kind of hard to second guess them.
Make Antonov stronger.
Give him the wall slam loop again? Yeah, actually he should. That was actually viable. I don't know why they took it.
Add taunts into the game, and then his taunt is he's gonna just blow a fat smoke from his cigar, and it's gonna have like stun properties.
Should be an overhead.
Yeah. Adding taunts though, I could see that, or more intros or something like that. Maybe something stupid like that, but something cosmetic that people will enjoy.
Maybe. I mean, other than obviously more characters, maybe like spruce up the backgrounds a little bit. Some people have been complaining that with the new model upgrade, the backgrounds are actually starting to look kind of static. So maybe have the backgrounds appear more vibrant.
Guest characters. We're getting Philia from Skullgirls.
The one thing I would actually like, but I don't think they'll do, is take a page out of some of the older games and have your teammates in the background on the stage.
That'd be sick. I always loved when Diamond Ground Pound's team just jumps. They're like, nah, all right, we ain't getting hit.
So, but that's a lot to add to a game, so I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, we already got enough glitches in this game.
Team up attacks.
Actually,
school style.
That would not be a bad idea, although I could see that causing a lot of other problems.
Team supers, 5 bars.
Tag shift, there we go.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
No tag shift, no quick shift. Oswald. That's not going to happen. We have a better chance of Oswald being a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 than 14, I'd say.
He would destroy everybody. Ace does not scale. I don't know why. It just doesn't.
It's hard to land. Here's these 3 setups.
Any of you guys have anything else?
Probably.
Not for KOF, no.
Oh no, it's in general. In general.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah, we can't answer these questions. 2 minutes, guys. Come on.
We'll
we can do one more. We'll do one more. One for the road.
It's also Reiki.
One for the road? Yeah.
Well, no, pick one that you actually, if you looked at all of them, like pick one you think that's interesting.
In your opinion, where does fighting games as a sport go from here? What needs to be done to keep it going, or should it keep going?
Offline party mode for King of Fighters 14, so you construct a 3v3 team.
Yes. Okay, that is legitimately something that they should be like looking at right now, because there are people that want to do this, but because there's no real reason to do it online, they're just like, screw it. So maybe they should create maybe like a LAN mode where you can.
Honestly, talking about fighting games as esports, I think realistically it's only going to go up from here unless somehow something catastrophic happens.
Some bubble
basically, honestly, I can't even see anything being that catastrophic, because Street Fighter V in so many ways was that catastrophic in its release and how they handled the release, and it didn't hurt anything that badly. So I think it only goes up from here. I think it should, and I think that's a good thing, as long as there are still the vestiges of the scene we all started in with open tournaments. I don't think those should ever go away. I hope they never do, because I think losing that would really take a lot out of what makes this scene what it is today.
Yeah. I think that this was our year to prove we were sustainable, and I think we did that. And I was kind of worried because I thought that maybe we would be trying too hard to be upward and onward and forget about, solidifying what people are calling a bubble. But we came out of it smelling like a rose. So
my New Year's resolution is I'm going to single-handedly kill esports in 2017.
Damn, do it. I remember writing an article about that like 4 years ago.
We gotta get Garo Mark of the Wolves for esports. That way, everybody.
You looked at your Mayan calendar and it's like Tony's gonna kill esports in 2017.
I gotta beat him to it.
Oh man, but yeah, I think it's fine. I think we're on the right track, and we keep steadily increasing. And people who think that Evo's not the same level as CPTs, you're full of crap. You don't know. Evo pushes us ahead. They're the whole reason why we're here.
Yeah, Evo is the reason why we're here, but in reality, we need both.
Yeah.
We can't just have that one big event. We need to have multiple huge events, and CPT is great. Evo is great. Now we need to do something with the other companies, KI, Injustice, KOF, all that stuff. It needs to try to reach a similar level. Obviously, it's not going to get as big because they don't have the Street Fighter name behind it, but they can definitely go somewhere. Like they can try to achieve something like that.
Street Fighter needs to have a Royal Rumble event where more than 2 people can play at the same time. and like every minute someone jumps in and they whip their ass.
I think we tried that already, and it was like, well.
Oh, you know what would be good for esports? If the WWE games actually had a new fucking engine.
Okay, so we're 2 minutes over 8 o'clock. It sucks because I couldn't talk about my experience playing Anthony's new favorite game.
Oh, I was gonna say something about that, but I forget now. Something Yomi counter.
Yeah,
got it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by us not talking about it, we figured
Is the Yomi counter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, Anthony knows.
All right. Anybody have any final thoughts?
Reiki says, shameless plug. There's a local tournament starting its new season this Friday up at the Sharkade in NorCal. Street Fighter
No
5
stream.
on Fridays with KOF. Oh no, starting tomorrow with Street Fighter and Friday with KOF. I'm sorry. And monthly Street Fighter 5 Cash Pot tournament this Friday.
More tournaments I can't go to for King of Fighters because it's fucking when I work. But
Great
otherwise,
choice.
if you have no such stipulations, to please, definitely check it out.
There is no stream for this event, so you have to go there and watch it.
Just go.
Just go and win the
All
money.
right.
There's actual money.
Yeah. Get 20 people in there. SNK will sponsor it.
Just play Chrysalid. He's totally legal, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening to another edition of Super Desperation Radio. So from everybody here, good night and good luck.